Hi guys, and welcome to the Wonder Lab. Here, when you mix baking soda and some vinegar, woo! You can see this vigorous reaction. And why is that? Well, because baking soda is a base and vinegar is an acid. But how can you know for sure that one is a base and one is an acid without actually reacting them with each other? Of course, you might have heard of something called litmus paper, which is a dye indicator that scientists use to find out what is an acid and what is a base. Now, you may not always have litmus paper in your house, neither do I. However, you can use something you can buy in a grocery store to make your very own dye indicator. And I'm going to show you today how you can do that. So let's get started. Now guys, it's very simple and requires only a few ingredients. The major one is a red cabbage. All you're going to need is just a quarter of the whole cabbage. You will also need a grater, a plate, transparent glasses, a strainer, and some white bowls for testing. So first we're going to go ahead and we are going to use a knife to cut our red cabbage into smaller chunks so that it's easier to grate it. So we're going to go ahead and you're going to use a grater, not a knife, to chop your cabbage, although you can do that as well. But grater gives you smaller pieces, which will give you a better, more concentrated indicator. You may notice that your fingers are turning purple, so if you want, you can of course use gloves, but I skipped that. So I'm gonna have purple fingernails after this. It is a little bit messy, so keep that in mind. You can also use a food processor if you have it. I don't, so I'm gonna have a little bit of an arm workout. It's okay if some chunks of the cabbage turn out a little bit bulky, bigger. That's okay. So now that you have grated your cabbage, we are going to put your shreds into a glass. See, just this amount is good. Look at my hands, purple, beautiful. I love purple color. And we are going to pour some hot boiling water into this glass just to cover the cabbage. We're just gonna use a spoon to stir the mixture. Let it sit for a few minutes just so that you can create a nice dark colored juice. Okay, so I'm back after a couple of minutes and you can see the color of this cabbage juice. It's deep purple. This is exactly what we need. Now, what we're gonna do is use a strainer. We're gonna separate our cabbage shreds from the cabbage juice because cabbage juice is our indicator. You can see our indicator is ready. All right, guys, and now is the fun part. We're gonna actually start testing our indicator. Now, I'm gonna set this aside. Don't throw the rest of your cabbage away because you're gonna need it for the second part of the experiment. Okay, so set it aside. Now first, I'm going to take one of the white bowls I have. It has to be white because you have to see the change of the color. If it's anything other than white, you're gonna be confused, so just use white. I'm gonna pour a little bit of our indicator into the bowl. Just, a couple of tablespoons is enough. And first, I'm gonna begin by testing vinegar. I know that vinegar is an acid. When you put it into this indicator, it should produce a reddish color. So let's test that. I'm gonna pour just, a tablespoon or so, and I'm gonna swirl it. And you can already see the change in color. Isn't that beautiful? It's an absolutely gorgeous magenta color. It actually matches my hoodie color, I think. So, using our indicator, we found out that yes, vinegar is indeed an acid. Now, the color didn't turn perfectly red because on the pH scale, vinegar is 3, and as you may know, just an aside, Acids, they range from 0 on a pH scale to 7. 7 is neutral, like water. And from 7 to 14, you have a base. So let's test a base. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna take a white bowl. I'm gonna pour a few tablespoons of the indicator. This time I'm going to use baking soda. Just gonna add a little bit. And you can see already the color change. Can you see it, guys? I'm gonna use my spoon and mix it up a little bit. Look at this. Look at this color. It's a nice dark blue, marine, like sea color. Awesome. So we've tested an acid and a base, and we've proved that indeed an acid turns our indicator pink and a base turns our indicator blue. All right, let's test other types of food we find in our kitchen. Let's test a lemon. We know that lemon is sour, so it should be an acid. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna pour some indicator and we're gonna squeeze some lemon juice in. As I'm squeezing, you can already see the color turns beautiful magenta. It's actually lighter magenta than what we have when we added vinegar. All right, let's test something else. I've got a bottle of, what is it, soda ginger ale. So let's give that a try. Some indicator in. And let's go ahead and add just a little bit. Ooh, look at that color change. Now, what is also interesting here, guys, is that you can reverse the color change. So if I add a little bit of acid into our basic solution, we see a reaction first, of course, and we can see that the color changes. It becomes less purple and more red, because acid neutralizes base. Now you can play around with colors and try to get your basic solution back into the same color as your indicator. Now we can do the same thing with an acid. If we put some baking soda in and just mix it, you will see that it's turning blue, as expected. In fact, I think this is very similar to the original color of our indicator. So play around with colors. This is super fun. Enjoy it and think about how wonderful science is. You can also test other liquids that you have in your household, like egg whites. You can test some fruit juices or juices from canned veggies and canned fruits. There is a variety of things you can do. Now you know the procedure and you're an expert at finding out what is an acid and what is a base without having to taste it. All right, guys, and now for the second part of this video. Like I promised you in the beginning, we are going to use our leftover cabbage for our next experiment. Now, another way to make your cabbage indicator is to boil your cabbage in water. And this is where the interesting stuff comes into play. This is where science meets cooking. We have a variety of cookware. Some of them are made from stainless steel and some of them are made from aluminum. How can you tell the difference? When you grab a magnet sticks to iron, stainless steel, as you can see. Now, it does not stick to aluminum, okay? Most of the aluminum dishes that you have in your kitchen are non-stick pans. They have non-stick coating and the base is aluminum. Now, why is this important? Why am I telling you all of this? Aluminum, when mixed with water, produces aluminum hydroxide, and it's a base. So when you are cooking something in an aluminum pan, you have to take that into account, because essentially your food reacts with aluminum and it changes not only the color but also the taste. And a lot of scientists agree nowadays that cooking your food in aluminum pots or wrapping it in aluminum foil for baking is not good for your health. This is because, believe it or not, small amounts of aluminum does leach into your food. So now we're going to go ahead and test it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take some leftover cabbage that I have, and as I told you, it's okay if you ended up with some big chunks. I'm gonna put half into my stainless steel pot and half in an aluminum pot. Then I'm going to go ahead and pour some water into both pans. To see the change in color more clearly, you may also add some foil into your aluminum pot so that you can see the effect of aluminum hydroxide better. So I'm going to add some pieces of aluminum. Now you may also do that if you do not have an aluminum pot. You can just take a stainless steel because it's neutral and just put pieces of aluminum. You can see the stronger effect of the aluminum when you heat it under high heat and if the food you're making is more acidic. So we're going to go ahead and cook our red cabbage on a low heat for around 20 minutes. You may also want to put the lids on top because this cabbage, when it boils, it does have a strong smell. All right, so I'm back after 20 minutes, and as you can see, our cabbage is nice and soft, and the color is deep purple. Now, for us to see the difference between the aluminum and the stainless steel, I'm gonna use 2 shallow plates, and I'm just gonna spoon a little bit of each mixture into each one of the plates. The juice from our aluminum pot. Next, we are going to spoon a little bit of the stainless steel juice. Stainless steel does not react with water. I've got 2 colors here, guys, just like we expected. Come here and take a look. Now, I hope my camera can capture the difference, but you may see that this color, this is like a dirtier purple. This color is bright purple, just like the juice that we made in part 1 of this video. Aluminum, stainless steel. You can see the change the type of material you use to cook your food can have on the color of your food that you're gonna get and on the quality of it. You can now make a better decision about which cookware to use. And this is it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new from this experiment. Now you know more about how to distinguish acids from bases in your kitchen and how to do it naturally with a store-bought ingredient like red cabbage, and also the type of effect the material that you cook in can have on your food. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.